Stephanie, and I'm going to give you a glimpse in the grove. Because you can't come visit us on your school bus or on your walks this year, right? You're doing social distance learning in your schools. I'm going to give you a virtual tour through our grove. And right now we're at the end of September, getting really close. This week is coming, and that's when our monarchs are going to start to arrive. Now they could come tomorrow. There might even be one today, we don't know, right? They all come individually, but October is generally when they start coming. So I'm gonna go inside now and show you where the monarchs might decide to be, right? Once they come from all the different places that they are right now. So this is a beautiful day outside. We notice, right? The temperature is warm and the sun is out. So let's go inside the grove. So if you do decide to come with your families, you're going to walk down this path, right? You're going to use walking feet because we always want to make sure that we're keeping an eye out just in case we have a monarch on the ground. We don't want to accidentally step on one because they do something, right? They camouflage, and it's really hard to see them when they're in this gravel. And over on this side, we have the hotel. So lots of people get to come and stay in Pacific Grove, and they get to come walk right behind the hotel to see the monarchs. And this year we have a beautiful mural that the hotel had someone paint that shows all the different monarchs. So we have some females, and then we have a male that we'll talk about later when we go through the sanctuary another time. So we're going to continue walking through the path. Got some trash. So you already noticed, right? It's starting to get a little bit shady in here. Things are changing. Make sure you bring lots of layers when you come to the grove if you visit with your families, because it could be warm outside, but inside the temperature changes quite a bit. So now you're entering into the grove. And already you see it's very different, right? Looks like we noticed lots of different trees. We have some that are really tall, some that are a little lower. We have different species of trees too that are important to the monarchs. So we have trees these are cypress. So we're gonna keep going inside. We're gonna follow this path. And the monarchs know how to get inside, right? They come from all different areas. So, this is the beginning of the grove, and if you look around, you'll notice we have lots of different trees, and that's one of the reasons why the monarchs come to Pacific Grove in this specific spot, is because we have all these different choices for them to fly up into. They might be in the eucalyptus, they might be in the cypress, they might be in the pine trees. We have tall trees, short trees, so the monarchs can move up and down depending on what the weather's like. And you can't feel it, but I certainly can feel it. But the temperature in here is just right. Today is a little bit warm, but it's never going to be freezing. The monarchs aren't going to find a place to spend the winter that's freezing. So it's never going to snow in here. We're not going to get any ice. It might be a little bit cool, but that's good because it keeps our monarchs resting, right? They don't use up all their energy. And look at how beautiful, right? The trees allow some of the sunlight to come through, so the monarchs, right, get some of that warmth on the cooler days. They can be up higher in the trees to gather the sun. So we're going to continue down our path inside the sanctuary. And we're going to take a look around, and we're going to notice all the things that are on the ground. This is all part of the habitat. Oh, but this is not part of the habitat. This is trash. This is not supposed to be here. This we're going to have to put into the trash can, right? So please make sure that you tell all your friends and you as well, put your trash in the trash can, right? And this way the monarchs just have their natural habitat to, right, be on. So all these leaves and all these sticks that you like to collect, this is all part of the natural habitat. And later in the season when you come into the grove and we might have some of the storms, you'll see why this is so important. But sometimes the monarchs fall out of the trees, right, and they end up on the ground. And this helps them either whether they have to dry their wings, right, or they'll be able to climb up on top and they'll flap their wings, so get their muscles warmed up, and they'll be able to fly up back to the other monarchs that are up in the trees. So all these things are important. And you might be wondering why these trees and these bushes and these different plants are in pots. Well, hopefully we'll plant these this week, and what we're going to do is we're going to give the monarchs some more choices, right, and some more protection from the wind. Some of them will land on these, right, on these nice soft branches, and they'll hang there. Oh, you hear all those? So I'm hearing lots of noise. So we have some crows up above us. We have lots of other wildlife that comes inside the grove. You won't see a bear, but you might see a squirrel. You might see deer. So what I'm noticing is as I'm going down a little bit lower, the temperature is changing a little bit more, and it's also getting a little windier. So as I said before, they have nice wind protection up at the top. They come down here, and it's going to start to open up and warm up. So the monarchs like to come down to the bottom when they want to gather some nectar. So we're going to go to our nectar garden and take a look at that. The other thing that I'm noticing is that it's really dry on the ground, and water is really important to the monarchs. So one of the reasons why they come to Pacific Grove is soon we're going to start getting our fog back. And that will give us some water on the ground, right? We'll have droplets on the leaves and on the ground. They'll be able to gather enough water to keep them, right, help them survive. And I hear some water flowing right now. So we have volunteers that make sure that our nectar beds, these are nectar beds where we have lots of native plants that, right, we're watering. So we have a daisy tree, and all these things will start blooming soon, so it'll help the monarchs gather nectar, right, and fill up their abdomens while they're here in the sanctuary. So we're going to come down below. We have the daisy bush, which sometimes they like to be on. They'll come on this mallow with this beautiful flower. We say hi to Mary over there. She's taking care of our nectar beds, right, and helping water. So we want to make sure that we keep moisture in here and that we keep these plants alive so that the monarchs do have some place where they can gather nectar throughout the season. So I think you can see how sunny it is down here. So it's actually very warm, and this is not a typical day that you'll find in, let's say, December or January or even in November. It won't be this hot and sunny. Otherwise, the monarchs might not stay here. Okay, so we'll see you next month in October. We'll come back about the middle of the month and we'll see where the monarchs actually ended up going, right? We'll have to investigate in the trees and find them, and we'll talk about what they're doing in the trees and what they're doing here in the sanctuary after they arrive. So we look forward to seeing you next time, and until then, make sure, right, you pick up your trash and take care of their environment around your house, and also if you decide to come visit here on your own, that you also keep your eye out for trash in here, okay? Thank you, bye.